right, guys, welcome to another episode of Snagged podcast and giveaway. It's been an absolutely crazy week going on at the moment. Hooch is back, which is fantastic. Fisherman reports, what's been happening in the north?
Well, I am back, and I was away. I got COVID, and I'm back now. Got a negative test, just like a big flu, really. And I missed another one for some other reason. I can't remember. So what are we at? We're at what's this podcast? 115? No, we've lost track.
Yeah, it'd be something about that.
Lovely. Up north, well, it's been a sort of case of same old, which is pretty good. The weather's been holding out. The water temperature has been pretty constant. I managed to have a very nice evening. Speaking of weather, it was a beautiful evening. I was asked to go and teach the scout group from Turner's Beach a little bit about fishing, which was pretty cool because it was on the banks of the Forth River where I grew up fishing, and my love of fishing was first sort of sparked, and it was good to talk to some people of all different sort of stages. Some people liked their fishing already. Some people loved it. Some people had never held a fishing rod. So that was pretty cool. It was about 20 kids, and they managed to catch some fish. I went down and threw some burley in the water early and set up a few bits and pieces, so they caught enough to keep amused. But remember, we go from people that are only just starting out to experts. Remember you had Damon Sheriff on, and you did a special piece with Damon?
Yeah, I did, mate. The Kingfish one, that was fantastic. That was more instructional than I realised it was going to be. I thought, we'll talk for about 15 minutes, and ended up going for about 40 minutes. I think by the end of it, it's been watched, I saw 40-something thousand times at last count.
Fantastic. And he popped into my Facebook feed with a nice whiting. I don't know whether you covered that last week, but he had a very nice whiting. It was 60-odd centimetres, which is an absolute cracker.
Yeah, nice.
Pardon me, but he would have pulled that out of the northeast somewhere. And some northwest coasters went down to the east coast. We had a couple of northern gamefish members out of St Helens just go for a bit of a play fish and managed to catch a yellowfin tuna. And Harry Murphy, he managed to catch a Tasmanian marlin, which is no mean feat. So that was pretty cool. A couple of northers doing well there off St Helens, and that continues to be a thing. Plenty of marlin about still, plenty of yellow.
Yeah, I was talking to a couple of guys from IMAS, and their theory with those marlin is that those cyclones they had up north in Queensland, those guys pushed that current out and ripped it down the all the way down to here, which is why those marlin are following them down, and God knows what else. So, yeah, fingers crossed, bit of May action maybe soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and I mean, that's certainly part of it. We already had a strong East Australian current, a warm current started. That cyclone and that prevailing weather pushed that current and that sea surface temperature a little bit further north, and also held it for a little bit longer. And I note with interest that off Bermagui, which is, northern New South Wales, but still not that far away, wahoo are being caught, which, I mean, that's probably happened before, but I don't remember it. Of course, I don't live at Bermagui either, but it seems pretty cool. What else have I got from the north? Rowan Hawkins reports that there were lots of salmon between Port Sorell and Burnie, but he was out looking for kingies, and no kingies were harmed in that particular mission. Jason Sharon, he reports that the kingfish in the Tamar were in the Tamar, and they also caught some around Kelso last week. No actual bust-ups or boils, just random hookups. You just need to be watching the surface very closely. He got his in 18 metres of water while fishing for snapper, and it went 62 centimetres, so he was pretty happy with that.
Good fish.
What's that, sorry?
Good fish.
Yeah, not a bad fish. In the Port Sorell estuary, Alan Casey picked up some bream. They were nice fish, and he took a couple home for the table, which I know some of the bream fishers that catch them on lures only get a bit excited if you take a bream because, they're so old and all that sort of jazz, and you should return them all, but you don't have to return them.
I think they're bread and butter fish from back in the day. I remember when I was younger, like we used to be I used to help run the Swansea Family Fun Fish, and people would take quite a few home for a feed during that comp, and they used to get hundreds and hundreds of people entering that comp, and that bream fishery is still amazing. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not against people taking bream home for a feed. They taste good, they fight well, great little fish.
Yeah, take a few home. You don't want to take 50 home, but surely this guy took 2 home and he's put them to good use. So, bit of crispy skin bream.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Greg Beattie. He's from Victoria. He's a friend of mine. He is mixed up with the boat catch business, the big cast aluminium devices that we put on our boats so we don't have to stand around the boat ramp and fall over and break a hip. He came over. He spent a bit of time in Bicheno and did well. They spent some time at Eaglehawk Neck and had a lot of fun. And they went to the northwest and spent a little bit of time on the sand at Montague. They snuck around the back, and I did tell them that they had to be fairly careful. Luckily, they had some water and some drinks and some food because they sat up on the sand there for about 7 hours until they could get back off. But that's something that can happen if you're not watching what you're up to in and around Montague. So for those that don't know, Montague is the far northwest. It's just past Smithton, and it's a really good spot to go and catch some gummies and some calamari. Also a very good King George whiting fishery there, and kingfish, yellowtail kingfish that move when the water pours out of the basin across some rocks there. And just for me to finish up, I thought I might mention the Tom Jenkins Memorial coming up. So if you are someone that has fished this previously or would like to put a team and fish the Tom Jenkins Memorial, I think it's the 14th year of the Tom Jenkins Memorial Bluefin Contest, run out of Eaglehawk Neck, of course, on the 24th, 25th and 26th of April. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be fishing that myself.
It'd be fantastic. An amazing competition going for a very long time. All right, what have we got in the south? A few reports coming through. Eaglehawk Neck fishing extremely well. Decent amounts of good-sized bluefin. Heaps of albacore, which is kind of cool. Heaps of makos doing the rounds as well. So it's all go down there at the moment. And also reports of some yellowfin starting to come through. Stripe marlin. I think everything's sort of going well down there. Stripe is fishing well. That's all in all, it's going very, very well.
Plenty of salmon in the Derwent, and mackerel is still everywhere.
There's still bucket loads of mackerel down there. It's absolutely insane. The size of them's actually getting quite good to the point where it's got a lot of people taking them home for a feed, which is good. And I think like with the mackerel, obviously with the flathead restrictions and stuff, which are obviously proving to be quite a good thing, there's so many people trying salmon, trying mackerel, trying those other fish. So it's good that they can go out and get a feed of mackerel nice and easily. Heaps of reports of some tailor in the Derwent as well, some decent sized tailor as well. I'll tell you what I did see, what I didn't actually write down, was proper sea mullet. One of the youngsters that comes in here caught it. I should have seen the damn thing. It was like a trout. It was huge. I don't know what it went, but it was like
60 centimetres?
60-something centimetre sea mullet. It was kind of cool on a lure. Nice work. What else we got here? A few garfish starting to turn up in the channel, which is a few guys out there having a crack at that.
Huon is fishing well for bream on both lures and bait areas in best Port Huon.
I know Mark Berg was fishing down there last week with Will Thorpe, and they filming one of the episodes, and they absolutely smashed them down there, so good job there. Kingfish are still about, Blackman's Bay, off the rocks, Eaglehawk Neck, all up the east coast. Reports of guys getting good numbers of kings as well, which is kind of cool. So, yeah, that's all going really well. Derwent's fishing well for bream at the moment. A lot of guys doing well on the hard bodies. So it's all go at the moment.
Maybe it's all the burley in the water.
Oh, it might just be, mate. Absolutely. Who knows where that's coming from?
Maybe we need to, dear old Mozzer, he always look for the positive. Maybe a few bits and pieces of salmon flesh is bringing in the bait, bringing in the fish, and away we go.
Yeah, well, there was talks about obviously that those fat deposits start to come out of the farm, stuff like that. And someone said to me, it's shocking. I said, yeah, we got to look at that. At least the fish will be well fed.
Yeah, my word.
There's one bloke with the mullet started coming in, mate. There's like a big burley cage there going off, so there's always a positive. Absolutely.
True.
All right, break time. All right, let's go. Heaps of breaks this week. So, firstly, Southern Game Fish Club held the East Coast Classic over the weekend, and plenty of blueies caught up there. So, awesome work to all those that managed to compete and catch fish.
It was a really. Oh, sorry to interrupt, but it was a really strong 2-day comp. People catching fish both days, and I think there was a couple of or if not 3 or 4 pending records to come out of that. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Fantastic.
I'm trying to think who took the comp out. I think Archie Cashon's crew did very well. Paul Digney did very well, and Sinead Ants, they did very well as well. So yeah, it was a good comp. Lots of people catching fish.
Awesome work. Love it. Yeah, good job. They do run a great comp, so good on them.
Double hook fishing charters with a cracking 105 kilo bluefin tuna from the neck.
That's a good fish. Well done, boys. Brian Frost with a healthy feed of flounder.
Double hook charters again with a nice mako and albacore.
Yeah, double hook guys are doing a good job. Their social media is fantastic as well. They're really getting pictures up there, which is awesome. Here we go.
Dylan and Daniel with a nice bluey.
Yeah, another bluefin coming out there. Josh Wall with some epic brim at night. Josh is fairly new to fishing, but he's sort of taken to it like a duck on water, and he's been trying absolutely everything he possibly can, and went out and had a bit of a crack at chasing some brim at night time using poppers and walk the dog style lures and stuff like that, and did very well. So awesome work there.
Ed Morgan with a cracking kingfish.
Awesome work there. Lucas Arnott and co with a healthy feed of kings. Justin Rossier and Finlay with an epic kingfish trip. Well done, boys.
Andrew Matheson with a cracking calamari.
Yeah, calamari went quiet there for a little while, but it seems like there's a few guys starting to get into a few over the last week, which is kind of cool.
They're fairly quiet across the front of the Northwest. You can pick the odd one up, but they were quite strong at Montague. The boys did very well. I had a feed of those. They dropped me off some fish on their way back to the Spirit of Tasmania and on their way back to Victoria. And last night, very tasty. But I have noted that they're still pretty strong down south if you put the time in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just one of the things. They started off so well at the start of the season that I think it's just whether there's less people chasing them or whatever, but it could be anything. But yeah, most guys seem to be getting a few fish, which is good.
Kelly Allen with a good feed of garfish from the channel.
Another garfish like we were talking about before. Awesome work, Kelly. Brooke Legos with a cracking calamari from the northwest. That was a good fish, so awesome work. Young India Thompson with a cracking yellowfin tuna. Awesome work, Indy.
Axel Brower with a stonking bluefin. Yep. 97 kilos.
Axel loves his fishing, works filleting fish all day, and then goes fishing on weekends. So good job, Axel.
Good job.
And Dave Nicholson with his first kingfish. Awesome work, legend. Always remember your first. You probably haven't remembered your first yet, but anyway, that's right. We'll get there later. All right, guys, that's just about us for this week. Remember, we are giving away our $1,000 fishing combo at the end of this week, but you've got to be a member. www.snag.com.au. Grab yourself a membership. Support us for what we do so we can jump on here each week, and hopefully you guys win some awesome prizes, and either Hooch or I will be giving you a call. Have a good week, guys.